Signal. Excellent. Commence broadcast. Commencing broadcast in 3, 2, 1. Activation beep. This is Captain Ethan Astor of the spaceship ESA-13. It is Saturday, January 1st, 2394, 9:30 am, Earth time. Before I begin my report, I would like to wish everyone a very happy new year. I hope that this year will be as productive as the last. Unfortunately, due to the time it takes for the signal to reach the Earth, our team can no longer see or hear you, but we know that you are all worried about us. We can feel it. So back to the report. In half an hour, it will be exactly 1 year since the start of Operation Novae Terrae. The ESA-13 team continues to work hard and do everything possible to keep the operation going. In exactly 5 hours and 29 minutes, the ship will cross the line and we will lose contact with you forever, at least until we get back over the line. For the first time in the history of mankind, we will try to make a warp jump. According to the plan, we must reach a never-before-seen part of the universe to explore it. After crossing the line, voice, visual, or text reports will become impossible. Therefore, we will proceed as planned. Once a month, we will send out deliverers. Robotic drones will cross the line to deliver pre-prepared reports. The team will follow all the protocols and plans to complete all the tasks. We thank you for staying with us this year. We promise to do our best. End of report. The broadcast is over. Well, I said, getting up from his chair. The others are probably waiting for me. As usual, this is hardly a report. Luna, what are you doing here? I didn't even notice you. I slipped in to watch the last broadcast. You could have been a little more positive in your broadcasts. The others are already worried about us. Haha, say what you want, but I have to do everything by the book. The broadcast time is limited, so I have to keep it to 5 minutes or less. It will soon be a year since we left. It's hard to believe. Tell me about it. Time has gone by way too fast. I thought it would be the other way around. Maybe we're just used to it. How many times have we been in space? I can't even count. But this is the first time we've gone for more than a few months. I thought there would be a lot of problems, but luckily nothing happened. There's still more to come. Another year of research, and a whole year of coming back. Well, we've already done 1/3 of it. Haha, of course, if the warp jump works. If for some reason we can't make it, we'll have to come back. I don't want to go back with nothing. We have to do this. You're right, let's go. The others are waiting. Walking through the corridors of our spaceship, I always felt like I was living the same day. Every day was scheduled to the second, following all the instructions. Every day we all repeated the same actions to be sure that we would get here without any problems. Now that we are on our own and no longer have to do these routines, we feel as if everything is now up to us. Finally, let's get started. How did it go, Ethan? The usual. I see. It's a pity that this is our last broadcast. Don't say that. It won't be the last. We'll be in touch when we get back from the line. You make it sound like we're not coming back. That's not very positive. Oh no, that's not what I meant. I meant that it's sad that we won't be in touch for at least another year, so, oh. Haha, don't worry about it. We only got this far because we worked hard. If we work together, we can do anything. Looking at their faces, I always knew that I could not have asked for better friends. They are my family, the only family I have. Luna, although she seems too relaxed, frivolous, or not serious, she is a professional biologist and geologist. Nova is an astrologer, obsessed with everything to do with space. Although we all are, she's on a whole other level. It seems that she knows absolutely everything. Sometimes it's even scary. She is always calm, cool, but at the same time the most emotional of us all. Wayne is always positive, although not without his own cockroaches in his head. He is an engineer. It is impossible to count the number of times we were on the edge of death, and we would have died if it were not for him and his decisions. I am the captain, responsible for logistics, ship management, and communications. Simply put, I am a jack of all trades. I do whatever they say, whenever they say it. I'm not strong in the sciences compared to the others, but I have the highest stamina and reflexes. Although they don't know it, this mission is basically our one-way ticket. The chances that we will return are minimal. No one knows what will happen next. Although the warp jump has been calculated and modeled many times, the actual consequences for us are unknown. And there are no guarantees that the ship will have enough fuel for another jump back. That is why delivery drones were created, in case we stay beyond the line forever, or die during the jump, or other aspects. They are programmed so that they will fly out automatically even if we do not activate them. There is artificial intelligence and a timer. Of course, this is just my guess. No one would have told us this directly. Ethan, is something bothering you? No, just thinking about how fast this year has gone by. It's already 9:59 a.m. Let's get started. We gathered around the table, piled high with food that we had prepared ourselves. We are frozen in anticipation. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Suddenly there was a sound like someone opening champagne. Everyone looked in surprise at Wayne, who was holding the bottle in his hands, laughing cheerfully. Champagne? Where did you get that? I saved a bottle especially for this moment. I've been hiding it carefully to surprise you. Haha, that's your style. And how did you sneak it onto the ship? They were checking our stuff all the time. It was not easy, but I was lucky, he said as he poured the champagne into the mugs. It's a pity we don't have any wine glasses, but we're happy with what we have. What I wasn't expecting was champagne. Are we really allowed to drink it? Won't it affect the WJ? Hearing that, everyone looked at me. Why are you looking at me? How would I know, huh? I think it's going to be okay. It's the least that can affect anything. Then let's do it, she said, raising her mug filled with champagne. Everyone raised their mugs while smiling. Come on, Ethan, you're the speech guy. Say something motivating. May our expedition be successful, I said, smiling smugly, and started drinking. They shouted in surprise. Well, you're as good as ever. Cheers. 4 hours and 34 minutes later. 2:37 p.m., 23 minutes to our destination. Begin detailed analysis of the ship. Beginning analysis. Ethan, I checked everything. There are no problems. Great, that's reassuring. What about the girls? Sorry for the delay. Everything is okay. Same for me. I see you've got your spacesuit on as well. Is everything okay with them? The last time we wore them was exactly a year ago. Haha, brings back memories. Mine has started to get tight in my chest. That's not good. Did they get even bigger? I'm jealous. When I get a chance, I'm going to redo it a little bit. I'd really appreciate it. Analysis complete. No problems found. Excellent. Activate neutral mode. Entering neutral mode. 20 minutes to destination. Prepare to proceed. 15 minutes later. We sat quietly waiting for the arrival. Everyone was clearly nervous. The tension was in the air, and everyone was getting more and more nervous with every passing second. I could see it on their faces. Even though we didn't speak, everyone understood everything perfectly. The ship has arrived at its destination. Engines are off. Welcome to the line. We arrived 4 minutes early. It seems that the distance calculation was still inaccurate, so no surprise there. The line is an invisible line in the universe beyond which there is a previously unseen part of the universe. Simply put, everything beyond the line is beyond the visible universe. It is from here that we must make a warp jump. The warp engine distorts space in such a way that space outside the ship is stretched and space in front of the ship is compressed. In this case, the ship finds itself inside a warp bubble, a spheroidal region of distorted space like in a container. For this reason, the ship is stationary relative to the warp bubble, and the warp bubble itself moves along with the ship. According to the theory, the warp bubble is capable of moving faster than the speed of light, which allows ships with warp engines to fly at speeds greater than the speed of light. Are you ready? Yes, the team replied. Engaging warp engines, I said as I pressed a sequence of buttons. Injecting fuel, calculating for speed C299,792,458 ms. Calculation started. Initializing fuel delivery. Coordinates unknown. Start calculating the ship's speed data. The maximum value is 346 light years. Let the destination be there. 3,273,342,828,130,007 kilometers from the initial destination. Data accepted. Put the ship on pre-launch status. Begin jump initialization at 3 marp. Confirmed. Ship is ready to jump. Countdown to 1997. 1 minute to go. I looked around and saw that everyone was sitting with their eyes closed, waiting for the start, trying to calm down. This seems to be the moment when I should do something to encourage them. You and I have traveled 93 billion light years. We went through a lot of wormholes just to get here. We've reached the edge of the visible universe, and for the first time in the history of mankind, we will see what is beyond this line. If we were afraid, we wouldn't have gone on this mission. We've been through situations where it looked like we were going to die. And this warp jump will be just one step in our story. It's not the end, it's just the beginning, so get ready, now is not the time to get scared. Hearing that, the others were surprised, not expecting to hear something like that from me, but their moods clearly improved. Start of countdown 10, 9. We can definitely do this. We didn't come all this way to give up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Suddenly everything around us began to warp. Time seemed to freeze, as if it had become material and could be touched. The darkness ahead of us seemed to shimmer with different shades of black, a bizarre feeling of eternity. And finally it was over. It was over as quickly as it had begun. It seemed as if only a second had passed. Is everyone all right, guys? I asked worriedly, looking at the crew members. Turning around, I saw that none of them were conscious. Fear and panic almost overcame me when I saw the blood. It seemed that Luna had experienced the worst of the race. Her nose is bleeding and her skin is completely pale. Without hesitation, I unbuckled my seatbelt and took off my suit to help them, but as soon as I did, I fell on the floor exhausted. What's happening? I can't move, my body is completely exhausted. Initiate procedure customize 93 immediately. Procedure customize 93 initiated. Please remain seated. I'm such an idiot, I shouldn't have gotten up, my emotions got the best of me. Procedure customize 93 is designed to remotely bring the crew back to consciousness in case of danger. My head is spinning, it's the warp jump, I'm going to lose consciousness in a little bit. Don't stop the procedure until everyone is safe, I said, trying to crawl back to the chair. With the last of my strength, I got to my chair and opened the case with various medicines. Taking out an ampoule and a syringe, I injected myself with a double dose of adrenaline so that I would not lose consciousness under any circumstances. It was the right decision, as I immediately felt that my body could move a little bit. When I got to my feet, I went over to Luna, who was already on life support. I am not a doctor and I don't understand much about it, but each of us has taken specialized courses and has the knowledge to help each other in difficult situations. Display the crew's status. Reporting crew status. Luna. Blood pressure 200/110 critically high blood pressure. Pulse 241 beats per minute critically high heart rate. Spiatwo 100. Mijn. Blood pressure 90 and I 60 low blood pressure. Pulse 40 beats per minute. Spiatwo 97. Nova. Blood pressure 97 ions 58 low blood pressure. Pulse 39 beats per minute. Spiatwo 98. Ethan. Blood pressure. Pulse. Spiatwo. Luna's condition is critical, while the others are relatively safe. Precautions have been taken. Critically high blood pressure and heart rate, right? I said as I took out the medication from the first aid kit. This should help. Taking out a syringe and several ampoules of phentolamine from the medkit, I started to draw it, quickly injecting it into Luna's vein. I waited, looking at the monitor. Phentolamine should help. I hope I got the dosage right. There wasn't much time to think. Wayne and Nova, do they need their medication? All the necessary procedures have already been performed. Their lives are not in danger, but they need to rest. Therefore, in order to improve their condition, it is recommended that they remain in the KSAMCAS 93 procedure state. I see, okay. Luna's condition is still considered critical, but the effects of the drug are already starting to take effect. Therefore, it is recommended that you do not make any decisions and continue to monitor her body. Okay, oh, I'm dizzy. Captain, the adrenaline is wearing off. Your system is overworked. Please take your seat so I can analyze your body and initialize procedure KSAMCAS 93 if necessary. Yeah, you're right, I said as I sat down in the chair. I give you the right to make decisions on the situation if I lose consciousness. Accepted. Administrator rights temporarily granted. As soon as I sat down in the chair and put on the mask, I began to feel myself falling asleep. My strength was leaving my body. I had never felt so tired before. Some time later. Captain, it's time to wake up. All body functions have returned to normal. What? Yeah, I'm up. I opened my eyes and saw the screen. Everyone was fine but still sleeping. How long have I been asleep? It's been 6 hours and 48 minutes. It is now 10:12 p.m. Analysis complete. The data is valid. All mechanisms and devices of the ship are in perfect order. A manual check of all components is strongly recommended. The date of the last manual check is 1/1/2394. How can this be? How long did the warp jump last? The warp jump lasted 201 days, 18 hours and 1 minute. How is that possible? It can't be. Reanalyzing, no errors found. The internal timer shows the same number as my measurements. But how? It's only been a few seconds. If the jump lasted 201 days, how did we not die during it? The warp engine changes space and time by expanding and shrinking it. Time has been constant for you. Being outside of time and space, you were in a bubble, that is, outside this dimension, but having crossed space and time, you return back to this dimension in which 201 days, 18 hours and 1 minute have passed since the beginning of the warp jump. For you, only a few seconds have passed, but the universe has already gone through 201 days. We were not warned about this, it wasn't even in the theory. According to the data, moving at the speed of light, you curve time and space so that it is possible to analyze and find patterns. Do you want me to start calculating? Yes, please do. The date of departure of the delivers is outdated. Would you like to change it? Yes, change the departure time. Starting today, it will be possible to send deliveries only manually, and they can be sent by any of the crew members or by you if necessary, but don't let them automatically take off without permission. Access changed. Begin recording for the delivery drone. Initializing recording in 3, 2, 1. Recording is now in progress. This is Ethan Astor, captain of the ESA-13, today. Envel Screenis. The warp jump was a success, if we can call it that. For me and my crew it took only a few seconds, while for the rest of the universe 201 days have passed. This was quite a news for us. I recorded the report and sent the first of 12 delivery drones to deliver the information beyond the line. Their principle of operation is also based on warp engines, which are weaker but still the same. Therefore, in theory, it will also take them 201 days to reach the line from where they can transmit information. In the report, I told everything we learned, information, feelings, what we saw and heard, absolutely every detail, then let the scientists work with it. Shortly after that, Wayne and Luna woke up. I told them everything. It scared the hell out of them, but everything quickly returned to normal. We are all alive and continue our expedition. Envel Screen E the next day. Today is July 22nd, 2394 9 am Earth time. Show me the analysis data. Analyzing data, part of the unknown universe, sector Aeon. Information needs to be changed. The surrounding galaxy has no name. The temporary name is Galaxy Aeon of Sector Aeon. You have the right to change the name as discovers. More information. Let's get to the point. Analysis is still in progress. Approximate data: the Aeon galaxy has at least 12 billion planets and about 123 billion stars. There are at least 10 billion solar systems. Analysis data is subject to change. Exact data is still being calculated. Would you like to continue the analysis? Yes, go ahead and edit the data as needed. What is the closest solar system to us? We need the planets with the highest percentage of possible life. The closest solar system with planets with possible life is 3 light years away. It is the 4th planet from the star, and vegetation, atmosphere, and water have been detected on it. The planet does not have a name yet. I see. Ethan. Luna, are you feeling better? Yeah, thanks to you, thank you. What are we going to do next? The ship is analyzing everything around us constantly. As planned, if possible, we should land on a planet with possible life to explore it. And how's that going? The ship has already found several, so I think we'll go to the one closest to us. I'm surprised. I didn't think we'd actually find planets with life on them. It's just an analysis. Maybe there's no life there anymore, or it's just forming. The exploration of the visible universe is in full swing, and every day more and more planets are found where humanity plans to settle. The world government's plans for space exploration are going according to plan. Some of the planets have already been turned into their second home by humanity. But at this rate of human development, we need to know if there are other intelligent life forms. And it's our job to find them. And I used to think that we would definitely meet aliens within the visible universe. Even the fact that there's one planet in the galaxy that theoretically has life on it is a great success. I don't think we're going to find a more advanced civilization than humanity. Although the universe is infinite, so who knows? If we do find them, our main task is to establish a diplomatic and beneficial relationship between humanity and them. Although it's been a few centuries now, all we've found are new creatures, but they show no signs of great intelligence. They're just animals, space animals. Well then I hope we'll be the first to find them, haha. That would be great. Where are Wayne and Nova? Checking on the ship, Wayne said the parts were really worn out for some reason. So he's fixing it up and Nova's helping him. I see, let's go see them then, I said as I left the room. So you're the only one who didn't faint during the warp jump, huh? It seems so. I don't know why it happened, but the worst of it was for you. The last thing I remember was being hurt so badly that I lost consciousness. Before that everything was so strange. It was like time had become material. Yes, it did. I tried to touch it, but it was like water spilling out of my hands, and then… I'm curious, what did you see? The same thing you saw, but I felt strange emotions. I felt like I was looking at myself from a third person, like my soul had left my body. It's more like hallucinations, except it was real. It's all explainable, and I'm sure that with the information we sent, they'll find answers to our questions quickly. Space and time warps can lead to anything. No one can be sure of anything yet. You're right, it's still beyond our understanding. And the reaction of your body and other bodies to this jump, I guess you could call it overload. The body experienced a very strong strain during the warp jump, and even though it was only a few seconds for us, in those few seconds, we received a lot of damage to our bodies. I think we survived because of the harsh training. A normal person would have died. But it's strange. According to the calculations, we shouldn't have felt anything, but then again, these are just theories. As is usually the case in practice, everything is different. I think that next time everything will go more smoothly. Now that we know what to expect before the next warp jump, we'll be better prepared. Yeah, I had the AI prepare some protocols in case we all faint or something. Wayne, how's everything going here? Ethan, everything's fine. We're almost done. I think it's going to be okay soon. That's good because today we're going on a mission, a planet where life is possible. Really? Wow, that's lucky. Do you think we can meet intelligent beings there? Depends on what your definition of intelligent is. You know, some animals are also very intelligent. Dolphins, chimpanzees, and others. You know what I mean, no need to twist it. Seriously, the chances are slim, but anything can happen. Right now, we're not even sure if there's anything alive up there. The analysis data can be very inaccurate. So it will be clear when we get closer to the distance of visual contact. Are you planning to make an expedition today? Yeah, we don't have much time as it is. If we warp jump back, we'll lose another 201 days again. It's also another whole year to go to Earth. So I think everyone agrees that we're not going to be here for long. We'll gather as much information as we can and then we'll go back. Even so, it's going to take longer than planned. Anyway, I sent a delivery drone. In the report, I said we'll be back as soon as we gather more information. Whatever you say, Captain. Okay, I'll be waiting for you. Come as soon as you're done and ready. Okay. A few hours later. 1:33 p.m. Everything's ready, we're good to go. I'm ready as well. So am I. Then let's go! Once we had gained enough speed, we flew to the planet Spes. The name was made up by Luna, and she seems to like it. She tries hard to come up with names for all the previously unknown planets and galaxies. Soon we flew close enough to make eye contact with the planet. It looks very similar to the Earth, and at first you can't even tell the difference until you notice the continents and the purple color of the vegetation. We were looking forward to what would be waiting for us on this planet, but of course we were also prepared for the bad. However, I hope that nothing bad will happen there. Planet Spes of the Lunia Galaxy. At 2:15 p.m., my team and I landed on the planet. The landing went without any problems. It's so easy to move around here. What's the gravity like? On Earth, the force of gravity is 9.8 ms, and here it seems to be only 6.9 ms. No wonder it's so easy to jump here, she said as she jumped from place to place. That's probably why the landing was so easy. Well, that's encouraging. It looks like this planet is almost completely similar to Earth, but nevertheless they are not at all alike. All the equipment work fine, but the plants are very strange. I've never seen anything like this on any other planet, she said, looking at the plants around her. The local star, unlike our sun, is blue, which makes the plants and their photosynthesis completely different. All the stages of evolution here were completely different. That's why we see such bizarre colors now. Our perception of colors on this planet has changed. As plants had to adapt to be able to absorb sunlight, their pigment became purple in this range. So most of the plants that we see on this planet will be either purple or pink. Maybe there will be red, blue, or orange. I can't wait to start exploring them. Then you can start, but be careful. Computer, how long is day and night on this planet? The day on this planet is 24 hours long, while the night is also 24 hours long. This is due to the fact that the distance from the sun and the size of the planet is ideally 2 times the size of the planet Earth. Wow, that's quite a similarity. Then the nights must be pretty cold here. The maximum daytime temperature in the region you have landed in is 30 degrees Celsius. The maximum nighttime temperature is 10 degrees Celsius. Okay, so there's nothing to worry about yet. Looking around, I observed the bizarre yet beautiful landscapes of this planet. Purple plants, blue sky, clouds, a light, warm and pleasant wind blowing through the suit, and the dead silence. Analyze the air. Nitrogen 77.10, oxygen 21, noble gases 0.90, including argon about 0.9, and also unknown substances that make up 0.1 by volume. Are these unknown substances safe to inhale? Yes, they pose no threat to living organisms. Nevertheless, I continue to analyze them. When I heard that, I made a decision right away. I took off my spacesuit to finally feel that sensation again. When your body is enveloped by the wind, after taking it off, I froze, enjoying the moment of relaxation. Seeing this, the others also followed my example and took off their suits to have a little rest. This planet is a treasure trove, isn't it? Tell me about it. The breeze is so nice. The blue sun looks interesting. It's rare to see it with your own eyes. I think we can rest for a while, and then we can continue the expedition. So far, I've learned something interesting. Plants on this planet have organs similar to animals. That's why we can't call them plants or animals. Also, some of them have nerve endings. It's not surprising there are plants like that on the Earth. But it's hard to explain. All these plants have a similar structure to mushrooms, animals, and plants at the same time. If we study them in more detail, we can learn something very interesting. Are you saying they have intelligence? Yes, but it's hard to say how developed their brains are. Some of them react to touch, while others hide in the ground when they feel the vibration. I wouldn't be surprised if some of them can walk. Also, did you notice that there are no animals here? They hid because our ship was too loud. No, that's definitely not the reason. The fact is that the plants here are so advanced that any animal is just food for them. Even from what I've learned so far, it seems like all the animals on this planet have already been wiped out. Then what do these plants eat? Like I said, they have similar digestive organs to humans. And they eat other kinds of plants. It's a whole new species. It's a mixture of plants, animals, and mushrooms. Communication like mushrooms or some animal species, chemical signals and certain kinds of sounds. My head is going to explode with so much information. Please keep it simple. Simply put, there are only plants on this planet, nothing else. All we will see are plants. There are so many species here that we can divide them into their own subspecies. Then I guess it's time to go study them. Let's go. We all went on a walk not far from the ship, up a mountain to look around. On the way to the top, we tried to study these creatures that Luna called fungi, Plantae similis animalia, or as we call them, Phaplasamina. All her guesses were right. This is indeed a completely new branch of evolution, never seen before. The creatures are unique in their kind. As Luna studied them, she found more and more things she didn't understand, from the structure of their bodies to their intellectual abilities. Time passed as quickly as ever. Coincidentally, this time the sun was setting at 9 p.m. Returning to the ship, We enjoyed a pleasant blue sunset and considered everything that had happened during the day. The next day. Today is July 23rd, 2394. It is 12 am Earth time. After waking up, we gathered to discuss the strategy for exploring this planet. We don't have a lot of time, so it's best to spend it productively. We split into pairs of 2 and decided to go in different directions. Luna and I should continue exploring the Plaza Minas, while Wayne and Nova should explore everything else. Only 12 hours of the 48 hours of the night had passed. It's very dangerous to explore in the dark, but with all that said, it's extremely important to learn about the nighttime part of this planet. Well, are you ready? Yeah, I think we'll be fine. We should have enough battery power for 20 hours for the lights and everything else. It's okay, you don't have to worry. Then let's work according to the plan. You should be back in exactly 10 hours, no delays. Okay, got it, we will do our best. Let's go then. We walked through the local jungle, illuminating everything around us with a flashlight. It seemed like a dream. The purple plants we had seen earlier disappeared, and in their place appeared pink, orange, and white ones. We were surprised by their nature. The light from the flashlight attracted them. Observing it, they began to glow. Wow, how beautiful! They have luminescent compounds, but why? Perhaps we will find out when a satellite of this planet appears, something like our Earth's moon. Really? Then that makes sense. Actually, there are 2 of them, moving at the same speed but on different trajectories. About 20 hours from the start of the night, they should appear in the sky. Maybe this is how these nocturnal plants absorb light, storing it for photosynthesis during the daytime. Luna. Yes, Ethan? Why do you like plants so much? I can't say I like plants more than animals, but I still like all living things. Mushrooms, plants, animals, they are all alive. They have their own way of life. It gives me pleasure to study them. Even when I was a little girl, I loved it all the time, and now I am a professional biologist who studies creatures from other planets. Isn't that great? Haha, it's really great. And you, Ethan, why did you want to become a pilot? I told you once that I always dreamed of visiting other planets. I always had problems with science. Math, physics, chemistry, and all the other sciences just didn't lend themselves to me. I've always been the worst, but I always felt like space was my element, to explore the unknown, to go on adventures. I just felt like it was something I had to do to feel alive. And since I'm not a good scientist, I chose what I was best at. That makes sense. Everyone should do what they love. Do you regret your choice? No, on the contrary, I'm very glad I chose this path. Who would have thought that we would be the first humans in history to cross the line, to successfully make a warp jump, and to find a planet so similar to our own? When we get home, we're going to make history. The information we've gained is more valuable than any money. Haha, that would be great. I've always dreamed of being popular. Walking through the local tropical jungle, we collected information. Hour after hour, Luna studied the local creatures while I helped her with what I could. 8 hours went by like that. 8 p.m. Earth time. Luna, we have been on the expedition for 8 hours. We should be heading back to the ship soon. It's been 8 hours? That's weird. I didn't realize. It's hard to keep track of time on this planet. If it wasn't for the clock and timer, I wouldn't have realized either. We've been away from the ship for a really long time. I think it's time to head back so Nova and Wayne don't get worried. Well, let's go then. Anyway, I learned almost everything I wanted to know. When I get back, I'll analyze the data. Maybe we'll find out something else. Suddenly, the darkness began to dissipate. The planet's satellites finally appeared in the sky, illuminating everything around with a dim blue light. The plants around us began to glow a light blue color, illuminating everything even more. It's so beautiful, she whispered in awe as she looked at the surrounding landscape. Really, it is like a magical world from the stories. Everything around us suddenly started to glow. The planet's satellites are illuminating it, creating an opportunity for photosynthesis. Once this stage is complete, they will hide again until the next glow cycle. Incredible. My attention was drawn to the small holes that began to appear around us. When I approached one of them, I thought I couldn't see it because of the lack of light. When I looked into one of them, a creature jumped out at me and ran away scared. What was that? Ethan, look, she said, pointing into the distance of the forest. Different creatures were running around eating fruit and different plants, completely ignoring our presence. I thought you said there were no animals on this planet? These are not animals, Ethan. Take a closer look. I don't understand. It's also a Phaplasaminas, but it's a completely different species. The ones we saw before were more plant-like, but these have more animal aspects. But it's still the same species. What do you mean by that? Most likely these are the seeds of the plants we saw earlier. That is, everything around us is a mother or an incubator that grows these creatures that will later turn into the same plants when the time comes. Now it all makes sense, haha, she exclaimed happily as she took their picture. Ethan, this is just incredible, it's just beautiful. Looking at how happy Luna looked at that moment, I couldn't help but start smiling. Her joy was my joy too. Joyful, she ran up to me, telling me something enthusiastically, but I did not listen. I was mesmerized by her smile and her sincere emotions. She hugged me and suddenly started to cry. Luna, why are you crying? These are tears of joy. Please don't tell others. Okay, it'll be our secret, I said, gently patting her head. You know, Ethan, I'm really grateful to you. For what? When we first met, no one wanted me on their team. I wasn't good enough. I often screwed up, but you didn't care. When you invited me, I was the happiest person in the world. All this time I tried to be the best I could be so that you would never regret your decision. If it wasn't for you, I would never have seen this. I wouldn't have been able to learn so much, to be the first to see something that no one else could. Thank you, Ethan, I love you. Ever since the first day we met, when you believed in me, nothing has changed since then. I want to be with you forever. Hearing this, I blushed, not knowing what to say. I started to get nervous. I. Do you like me? Taking a deep breath to calm myself down, I finally managed to say something. Yes, I do, I always have. Then do you want to be with me too? Yeah. Hee, she laughed as she hugged me even harder. On the way back to the ship, Luna and I just enjoyed the moment, talking about everything, holding hands. A new stage of our lives has begun today. Back on the ship, we started to wait for Nova and Wayne, who were about to return. It's already 10:10 p.m. Why aren't they back yet? Maybe they got lost? They're not answering the walkie-talkie either. That's unlikely. They should have enough power even with a reserve, and the map works perfectly, you know that. That's right. Computer, show me the location of Nova and Wayne. Location of Nova and Wayne was transmitted to you. What the? They got separated? But why? Their tablets are kilometers apart. That's weird. Computer, show me the lines of movement of Nova and Wayne, with a time frame. They last moved about 4 hours ago. At first Wayne stopped walking. Nova left him and walked towards the ship, but after a few minutes she stopped as well. What could that mean? That they were running away from something. They were running, but they had guns. What were they running from? I don't know, but something's definitely wrong here. Luna, stay on the ship. I'll go after them. No, I'll go with you. Luna, I am not asking you. I am telling you to stay on the ship. I'm going with you anyway. Oh, are your weapons okay? Yeah, let's go already. Nova's tablet is closest to us. It's only 3.3 kilometers away, and Wayne's tablet is 4.5. Well, let's find Nova first. I think Wayne can take care of himself. I think so too. Let's go. Luna and I set out to find Wayne and Nova. We ran as fast as we could to get to them, sparing no effort, and when we arrived at the place where Nova's tablet was last detected. Ethan, there it is, she said, pointing to the broken tablet. What the hell happened here? Nova, can you hear us? Nova, she yelled, trying to reach her. She's not answering, so she's not here. What are we going to do? We have to look. Even without the tablets, they had to find their way back, so there are two options. Either they're in trouble and they can't get out on their own, or someone or something has captured them. We follow the path that Nova took. Once we get to the last place Wayne was, maybe we'll find out what happened. Some time later. Here it is, I said, picking up Wayne's tablet. It's also broken, and it's not broken from the fall. Something deliberately broke it. Ethan, what is that? Looking up at the sky, we saw a column of smoke not far from us. Smoke? Someone's making a fire? It could be them. Let's go. Running towards the smoke, we didn't care about anything at all. Suddenly under my feet I saw traces of blood. Stop, Luna. Look at this. It's blood. The creatures here don't bleed, do they? All the creatures we saw had a special juice that contains water, minerals, sugars, and other organic compounds. They cannot have blood. Be careful, you might have to fight. Got it. Rushing towards the fire, we hid behind the plants and watched what was happening. Humanoid creatures with a pink skin tone, armed with bows and spears, began to gather around the fire, throwing more and more dry plants and trees into the fire. Who are these? Pink skin? Ethan, they're also Phoplasamanas. Are you kidding me? Is everyone on this planet the same species? It's hard to explain, but yeah, I'm sure. The thing is that this species seems to have evolved faster than the others. For one reason or another, it looks similar to humans. It looks like the forest dryads from that legend. Two of the dryads brought Nova and Wayne, tied up and unconscious. Arrows were sticking out of their bodies and spear cuts were visible. There they are, I'm coming. Luna grabbed my arm, stopping me. You want to get caught too? Don't do anything stupid. We have to think things through first. If we don't intervene, it may be too late. They've lost a lot of blood. We have to help. I know, but just wait, we have to think this through. There's no time to wait, stay here. If they catch me, get to the ship. Bet. I stepped out from behind the trees with my hands in the air, walking slowly toward them. When they saw me, the dryads immediately became alert, drawing their arrows in anticipation, talking to each other with strange sounds like snakes hissing. They looked at me. I come in peace, I said in a calm voice. Let them go. Pointing my fingers at my friends, I tried to establish contact with them. Suddenly, one of the dryads stepped forward and came right up to me, looking at me curiously. After looking me up and down, she began to hiss as if telling me something. Repeating the same sound over and over again, she looked me in the eyes. Having no other choice, I could think of nothing better than to hiss the same sound back to her very awkwardly. When she heard it, she seemed to be very surprised, and then she moved away and seemed to start laughing. Ethan, I'm Ethan, I said, pointing to myself. I kept repeating the same phrase and pointing at myself in an attempt to establish communication. She tries to repeat my name. Ethan. Shean. I nodded my head to show that she understood correctly. I pointed at her as if to ask her name. Copying my movements, she pointed at herself and hissed. Shira. Shira, I hissed, repeating her name. Hearing this, a smile appeared on her face. Pointing at me, she hissed she and then at herself, hissing Shira, repeating this action over and over again. I held out my hand, to which she extended hers, curiously touching me. I pointed at my friends and repeating my name, I approached them step by step, watching their reactions. Suddenly an arrow flew near my face. Seeing this, Shira turned to the others and began to hiss angrily. She did it so loudly that I thought my eardrums would explode. She pointed her finger at my friends as if to give me permission to approach them. As I approached, I untied the rope and began to take out the arrows, trying to close their wounds. Shira stood behind me, watching the process with interest. All the dryads watched, afraid to take a step toward us. It seems that Shira is their leader, who was fortunately interested in learning as much as he could about the previously unseen creatures. After treating their wounds and making sure that Nova's and Wayne's lives were no longer in danger, I slowly got to my feet and turned to Shira. I looked at the surprised face of Luna, who was hiding nearby. I tried not to show any fear or anxiety so as not to provoke the dryads once again. Pointing to my comrades, I said, friends, pointing to Shira and then to the other dryads. I also repeated this word, trying to convey my message. Turning around, I slowly picked up Nova and Wayne, throwing them over my shoulders. I looked around to see how the dryads reacted, but they seemed to be waiting for an order from their leader. Shira watched me curiously, and when I started to walk, she followed me. As soon as I stopped, so did she. I could see that she was curious, but at the same time cautiously trying to explore us. I pointed my finger forward, silently showing the direction I was going. The other dryads were also following us, but when Shira turned to them, she hissed something and they stopped. Continuing to walk, Shira followed me. When I entered the forest where Luna was waiting for me, Shira saw another stranger and stepped back, but when I pointed at Luna and said the word friends that Shira already knew, she calmed down. We continued walking, and surprisingly none of the dryads except Shira followed us, which made me feel better. It seemed that she had ordered them not to follow her. Shira's attention was drawn to Luna, whom she studied with her eyes, to which Luna in turn did the same. Shira? Shira. Luna, she said, pointing at herself. Ethan, she said, pointing at me. She tried to say Luna's name while pointing at her. She hissed confidently, pointing at me. As they tried to talk to each other, they understood each other better and better with each passing minute. When we finally arrived at the ship, Chiara looked at it curiously but cautiously. Once inside, I carried Nova and Wayne to the medical room, where I could better treat their wounds. Chiara never left our side, continuing her observations. Computer, what's the status of Nova and Wayne? Neutral, minor blood loss and shock that led to unconsciousness. Do you want me to take precautions? Yes, please. When I turned back, I saw an interesting picture, a terrified Chiara hiding behind Luna, holding onto her clothes, trying to figure out where the robotic voice was coming from. Ethan, what now? What do we do? I honestly have no idea. 3:49 a.m. It's getting late. I'm really tired, to be honest. Me too, and Chiara is with us, so you can't explain to her what we're supposed to do. I'm more worried about why Nova and Wayne were attacked by the Dryads. They don't seem aggressive at all, I said, looking at Chiara. When they wake up, we can find out from them. In the meantime, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Ethan, you can go to bed. I'll stay with her for now, and when you wake up, we'll switch. I want to examine her while I have the chance. Okay, that makes sense. Just don't overdo it, and don't do anything stupid. Sure, good night. Good night. Back in my room, I went to bed to regain some strength and sanity. The next day, July 24th, 2394, 9:36 am Earth time. My morning began unusually. I woke up to someone poking fingers at my face. I opened my eyes and saw Chiara, who seemed to be enjoying her little game. Behind her was Luna, Nova, and Wayne, who could hardly contain their laughter as they watched. Sheehan, get up, Sheehan. I'm up. Luna, did you teach her that? Well, who else would? Haha. Chiara was so excited to see you again, she couldn't wait. She seemed to like you. Really? But she still likes me more. You don't see that every day, haha. Did you take a picture, Luna? Of course, this is a moment that needs to be immortalized, so that the history books will have an example of the first contact with an intelligent race that wakes up the sweetly sleeping Ethan. Ha ha ha, why not? That sounds great. Okay, no more jokes. Nova, Wayne, what happened yesterday? It was my mistake. When we were exploring the western part of the forest, we encountered some Dryads. They weren't aggressive, but they were wary. We tried to turn around and leave, but they surrounded us. They had weapons. I got nervous and started shooting in the air to disperse them. That's when it all happened. They were really scared of the sound of the gunshot and the flashes of light. In a panic, I started running away, leaving Wayne behind. I see. I'm so ashamed of that. I'm sorry. I understand. I also lost control in this situation. I'm not angry. To be honest, I wanted to do it myself. I was ready to shoot, but you did it first. Okay, so that's settled then. We just have to decide what we're going to do next. According to the plan, we should be back in a year, but no one knew that the warp jump would take so long. The delivery drone that we sent, if it's already in the process of jumping, will probably show up also after 201 days from the start. Right now, everyone probably thinks we're dead, so we have to go back. The information we've gotten is enough. To continue this mission, we need to start over with everything we've learned. That's why we have to go back. I agree with you, but it's been 207 days since the operation started, of which 201 days were warp travel. Using the wormhole system, it'll take us another year to get back. There's no other option. We only have enough fuel for one more warp jump, so once we get back to the line, we have to go back the same way. Going back, if everything goes according to plan, it will also take 201 days, so if we decide to go back today, we will be 43 days late. The question is whether the ship will survive. Everything has been calculated to the smallest detail. If we hesitate, who knows what consequences it will have for us. Wayne, what do you think? It's hard to say. During the warp jump, everything was strange. Parts of the ship were clearly worn out. Even though they weren't used during the warp jump, the food and water were changed as well, but we were lucky that the shelf life was much longer. And it also affected our bodies, so time inside the bubble is passing, but we don't know how yet. The parts in the food have aged, but then why haven't we died of hunger or thirst? There are too many questions and no answers at all. I think that's something that needs to be addressed by experts. We can't find the answer on our own. That's why we have to go back. The longer we stay here, the greater the risk. Yes, Ethan is right. The best thing for us to do is just go back. Knowing how the warp jump works, we can easily get back here once we're better prepared. It's up to you, Ethan. We're going back. But what about Shiera? I don't know. She should go back to her tribe. I think we should take her with us. Their language is not known to us, and Shiera can help humanity learn it. That's the best option of all. Are you suggesting we kidnap her? No, no way. Only if she wants to. Even if she doesn't mind, how do we know? Besides, what's the chance she'll survive the warp jump? Oh, my head is going to explode. Hey, you're lucky you have me. Shiera, Shinyusu Aravachusha, she whispered, looking at her tablet. Yushisu. Shiarfush? Yushu, she exclaimed happily. You understand her, but how? While you were sleeping, I tried to learn as much as I could about her language. With the help of AI analysis and continuous data processing, I was able to learn a few words. But I can only communicate with her as long as I have my tablet handy. She wants to fly with us. That's great, but what about her tribe? How will her body react to the warp? She's not the leader of her tribe, especially since their culture doesn't even have such a thing. Shiera, she can do whatever she wants. Freedom is a basic principle of their culture. I analyzed her body. She will be fine. Her body is much more resilient than ours and stronger. Also, her regeneration is incredible. She's superior to us humans in every way. So there are no problems at all. Think about it, Ethan. This is not just a new discovery. It could change the way humanity is going once and for all. It's proof that there are other intelligent beings in the universe. They'll be the first ones that humanity will be able to make contact with and establish mutually beneficial relationships with. As long as they don't experiment on her. Don't worry, no one will do that. Luna has already collected all the data, so there is no point in further experiments. Impressive, okay? Shiamarusham. What's she saying? Wait a second. Okay, I think she said she wants to talk to her family first. She wants to say goodbye. I see. Well, tell her to come back as soon as she can. I'll go with her, it'll be easier. Are you sure? It could be dangerous. Nova and I will go too, so we'll be fine. Suit yourself, then keep in touch. I don't want you guys to get into any more trouble. I won't make another mistake, I promise. A few hours later. Ethan, we're back. Good to see you guys. How did it go? No problem. Shiera explained to everyone that she was going on a trip with us. She said she wants to learn more about the world, and she'll be back as soon as she can. It looks like she's not the first one. Their tribe is growing rapidly, and exploring the world has become a common thing for them. I checked the ship. Everything is in order. We can leave now. Great, then get ready. We'll leave when everyone is ready. The same day. As we prepared for the flight, we were excited, because during this time we were able to learn and see things that no one had ever seen before. It is a pity that we spent so little time on this planet, but it's not the end, it's just the beginning. When we return, we are not going to stop our journey. By preparing and improving our ship, we will be able to get here much faster, and not only here, the whole universe is waiting for us. We can see everything with our own eyes. Is everyone ready? Yes, the team replied together. Engaging warp engines. Initiate fuel injection. Calculating for a speed of C299,792,458 ms. Calculation initiated. Initializing fuel delivery. Start calculations based on the ship's speed data. The maximum value is 346 light-years. Destination point is line. 3,273,342,828,130,007 kilometers from the original destination. Data accepted. Putting the ship on standby. Begin jump initialization at 3 warp. Ship is ready to warp jump. Countdown 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. To be continued.